So today I want to talk about the best ways to get legendaries in Diablo 4, because this is one of the most common questions about this game. While this is good information to have, it really only applies to people that are level 50 and unlocked World Tier 3 and beyond. Nightmare Dungeons drop sacred items are going to be better than any legendary you get from previous World Tiers, and Ancestral is even better than that from World Tier 4. Now to explain how this actually works, when getting around the world and doing things like Tree of Whispers or farming Hell Tides or even killing world bosses, what you actually have is the opportunity to receive legendaries, and when you get a legendary, you're going to have a chance for that item to either be standard or sacred or ancestral. Higher world tier, if it's a higher world tier. And sacred is even more important in world tier 4 because you can still get the prior qualities of drops, meaning world tier 4 you can still get world tier 1 to 3 drops, meaning you can get normal non-sacred or ancestral legendaries again. This is obvious, but it's important for the topic at hand, and there's actually a way to increase your odds of legendary drops for them to be ancestral or sacred. And it's not just my opinion, but we actually know this directly from the devs, from a tweet that's said by a dude named Joseph, who's the associate game director, and he says items that drop in Nightmare Dungeons have increased odds of being sacred or ancestral than items that drop outside of Nightmare Dungeons, aka Nightmare Dungeons. Drop more of them are actually buffed when it comes to finding quality loot, and will increase the ratio of usable to unusable items found within Nightmare Dungeon. And one important thing to note, even normal legendary aspects can be as good as sacred and ancestral aspects, and it's something I see often mistaken. The very good legendary aspects are typically percentage modifiers and don't change. And the secondary stat quality, meaning that looking at items like ancestrals, it will be more important when it comes to that item's secondary stats than the armor values and DPS, etc. The actual aspect is not within the purpose of this conversation, but the power and strength of the item, and to clarify normal, sacred, and ancestral aspects, that all three of them can be imprinted interchangeably between each other. Like ancestral can go on normal, normal can go on sacred, and so on. And because of this tweet, we know for a fact the drop rates are better in Nightmare Dungeons, and because of this, the aspects can be changed and work regardless. And regardless of the drop rate, it doesn't matter if you're aspect farming where you actually get the drop. So it is better currently at the moment to farm Nightmare Dungeons, but it gets a little bit spicier because if you watch the devs campfire chat where all the developers spilled tea, they actually are implementing within the next 3 weeks or before Season 1, they are actually implementing Nightmare Dungeons buffs, not only in experience to level faster, but also in item quantity and quality. Instead, they're buffing the items in Nightmare Dungeons, which are already a better way to farm. So they're gonna become even more valuable, and also adding the ability to teleport directly to them. So like, if you go to use one of these guys real quick, it'll teleport you. Like, instead of just showing where on the map, it'll give you a waypoint. I mean, this one's got a waypoint, but for something like, if it was over here, for example, it'll have a waypoint directly there instead of just showing you. And it optimizes and the overall experience and gameplay loop, and not only do I find them more enjoyable just to play through, it's also a great way to level up your glyphs, in the only way. So when you level up and use your glyphs, like I'll show you, like when you go to level up your glyphs, it makes you become stronger even without finding the armor you want. So you're not only farming the best items, you're also getting your glyph stronger. So, and it's not the only way you can get your glyph stronger. So Nightmare Dungeons are basically the GOAT when it comes to maxing out your character, and and because you can constantly craft the sigils for it, and you can do this as early as tier 3, you just have to beat Nightmare Dungeons tier 1 and 2 to unlock 3, and then do the quest that pertains to that afterwards, and unlock it. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you. That's how you get the best gear and all that, and I hope this video helped. If you found this helpful, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I'll get out of your hair. Peace.